All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on mmaunhinged. I'm joined once again by Biaggio Ali Walsh. An absolute pleasure, by the way, to be joined against you, by again. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure. It's fantastic to have you on. The first time we spoke was the Tom Greaser fight. You won that by spectacular fashion. Congratulations. And now we're speaking after the fight against Isaiah. Another knockout. It's looking really good. How is that feeling thus far? Obviously, two fights in the PFL, two finishes. How does that feel?
It feels great. I'm super blessed. I'm super grateful. Um, all the hard work is showing. The improvement is showing. I continue to want to improve and show and display that improvement. So everything went right. Mindset was great the entire time. Um, I feel good, and I'm ready to. I took a couple the week after the fight. I was moving the entire time, so this week's kind of like my rest week right now. Doing a little bit of light workouts, but next week is kind of when I start ramping it up again, and then hop right back into camp and see when I can fight again.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned there you moving. Was that you moving house, moving out?
Yeah, me and my brother, we're living in a house now with my other brother Tyjon, and um, yeah, we're all set now.
Yeah, but obviously it's fantastic. Moving out, obviously you get that independence, and obviously as such. But yeah, we'll head back over to the PFL. Obviously,
Mhm.
it was your second walk making it to the cage. I just wanted to know a little bit more about how you felt walking to the cage. I know you said that you were very nervous because in front of the Las Vegas crowd,
Of
but
course.
how did you feel making that second walk compared to the first walk? And did you feel more comfortable because it was familiar because you had been there before?
Yeah, I definitely felt more comfortable. I was hyped. I was really excited. I had the crowd, that everyone had their phones out, and uh, some people were saying my name and stuff, and I was pumped. Going into the walk to the cage, I was super pumped. You could probably tell watching me walk up there. I was pumped. I was ready to go. The nervous part was kind of right when the fight started. That's kind of when I started to feel a little bit nervous. Um, but a minute into the first round, my coach said settle down. That's when I settled down and kind of just took a couple steps back, breathed a little bit, and then that's when I'm at my best, is when I'm calm and I'm picking my strikes. So that's what happened. That's that, that that's the rundown, really. I felt very comfortable when I got there, and I expect to feel even more and more comfortable as I get more and more fights.
And then would you say that nerves ultimately was because it's in front of your home crowd, it's in Las Vegas? Maybe yeah, I presume you had friends and family in the crowd watching.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would say obviously, every fighter is going to be nervous, before a fight, but these nerves are kind of a little bit enhanced for me just because I'm from Vegas and the fight was in Vegas. If a guy's from Florida and he's fighting in Florida, he's gonna, there's gonna be a little bit of enhancement on those the pressure just because you're fighting in front of your hometown and the people that grew up with. They're probably coming to the fight and they're watching and supporting. So it was definitely enhanced a little bit, but you gotta be able to handle it, and that's what I did, and my coach telling me to settle down is what really helped me to adjust to that as well.
Biagio, I think you put on a 10 out of 10 performance. I think we saw everything that we probably wanted to see out of you, and that was the takedown defense. The hands, obviously, we know about the hands. They're going to be great. They're going to be
Mhm.
fantastic. But it was another showcase performance versus Isaiah. You got the finish. That's two finishes in a row, two finishes in the PFL, 2-0. Ultimately, how impressed was you with your performance against Isaiah and the overall assessment of how you felt and obviously how it went?
Yeah, there was a few things I think I was a little sloppy. I think it was just because of the nerves. Um, the low kick, there was one low kick when he was against the fence that kind of threw me off balance as I went to strike.
Yeah.
So it felt a little sloppy, but yeah, there was just a few nicks like that I look at and I'm like, okay, I got to fix that. I got to watch more. Another thing that threw me off too was, you know, when I'm sparring, I'm always looking at the chest area so I could see everything. You know, there was a couple moments in the fight where I was looking at his eyes and his face, and it kind of distracted me from his counters. You know, when you're looking at someone's face, it's a little distracting because you're trying to read the face, and then a punch comes and you didn't even see the punch coming because you're not looking in that area. You know, you're not using your peripheral vision. So there was a couple moments in the fight where I felt more engaged in looking in his face than I did looking at his chest area and using my peripheral like usual. You know, when I'm using my peripheral and I'm looking at his chest area, I feel a lot more sharp. I can see things coming. But yeah, you know, this is what it's all about. It's all about learning. It's all about getting the experience. You know, I'm getting the experience on a really big stage as an amateur. So I'm super, super grateful and blessed for that. You know, this is priceless stuff. So I'm just taking the experience and I'm taking it all in. You know, I'm learning. I know what the things I have to fix from this last fight, and I'm gonna look to display that the next fight.
Absolutely. You talked about it quickly there about Isaiah. He was throwing, his leg kicks pretty hard. They're pretty hard. He's throwing them with full intention. And as you mentioned there, at one point, he kind of did sweep you away a little bit. Was they kind of affecting you a little bit? Was they pretty damn hard?
No, they didn't really hurt. Maybe it was because of the adrenaline, or he didn't get the right spot. I don't know. But they didn't really hurt. They just kind of threw my balance off, which is usually what they do if you land them pretty good. But yeah, I've been practicing checking those as well. And there was actually, he threw 3, I think, total. 2 of them landed, and one of them kind of landed, but I expected it. So I kind of pulled the Jose Aldo and lifted my leg in defense of it. I think that was the one leg strike that I defended pretty well. But yeah, this is, even talking about this stuff to you right now, it's just making me think and ponder and acknowledge and sit back and look at the things that I should be focusing on and the things that I can improve on.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, in the fight, you're probably not thinking about it. And when you sit back and watch, as you talked about, you can have that kind of different, perspective. And that's ultimately what you're going to have. But look at the things that you've done really well. The takedown defense was on point. And I talked about you before we went on air. It says we're seeing the evolution. We're seeing how much, better you're getting. All in the, the great hands of Eric Nickshik and over I forgot the gym.
Extreme Couture.
Extreme Couture, there we go. Extreme Couture. And the great hands of Extreme Couture, Eknikshik. I mean, you can see the evolution. You see you getting better. But with, how well we saw, and obviously the takedown defense in this fight, does that feel good? Because we're seeing the evolution. We're seeing how, the improvements. So does that feel good in yourself that, obviously we're seeing, all the fans are seeing how much you're improving as well?
100%. I mean, just wait until I start taking people's necks. Then they're going to say, oh, he can grapple. Oh, he can submit people. He can wrestle. Oh, that's what they're gonna say when I start doing that. So, I wanted to be able to show that improvement and takedown defense and takedown offense too. Like there's going to be an opportunity for me to show my offensive wrestling and my submission attempts and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of time now.
Absolutely. I thought you looked fantastic. It was a great step up in fight as well. I thought, Isaiah was a good opponent. And obviously, I know he was still quite young in his career, and you're young, but I thought it was a good opponent, good step up. And I thought you dealt with the pressure. You dealt with, the occasion very well. And you put on, I would say, your best performance today. I know you said there was, a little bit of sloppiness in there you talked about there. But where would you kind of rank this finish out of the 3 that you have thus far?
I would say it was the best performance. There, like, if you watch the first PFL fight that I had, I was in the dude's face, and he was kind of exiting, and I wasn't really cutting him off on the cage that much. That was one mistake I knew I made the first PFL fight. But in this last fight that I had, I was cutting him off the cage. He was kind of escaping off the edge of the cage, and I was cutting him off. I wasn't following him. to give him more of an exit, I was cutting him off. And that was another improvement from the first PFL fight. So every fight that I have, I'm going to look for things that I need to improve. I'm not going to just pat myself on the back the whole time. You know, I'm looking to, even after this last win, I'm thinking like, damn, like I wish I was more calm. I was happy that I won, but I was still very hard on myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see a fighter when he's being hard on himself, because that's going to push you. Ultimately, it's going to push you harder, and it's always good to see a fight and, you know, see these sort of improvements, should we say, because you're going to get better. You're going to use that, and obviously to get better, and you're going to get in the gym, and you're going to work twice as hard to fix it. So it's good to see that. It's good to see a fighter, you know, with the mentality like you have.
Yeah, and that's just me being a perfectionist. You know, I want to just get better and better, and that's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely, and I'd like to. I've got a few questions left. You know, what is next? I know this is the first, you know, first ring walk of 2023. When can we kind of expect to see you next? I know you talked about June. You'd like to get on them June cards, so hopefully, is that the target date?
Yeah, I think you know, if I want to stay active and get as many, I want to get at least 3 or 4 fights this year. So, you know, if I want to stay active, I think June 16th would be a good date. You know, maybe hop into camp right away. This week's kind of like my rest week. So next week start ramping it up, and then the week after that start sparring again, and basically get right back into camp.
Absolutely.
I'm obviously, you know, I see Ray at the gym a lot, so I'm gonna sit down and talk with him and see what he thinks is best. If not June, August. But I mean, those 2 months are the 2 months that I'm looking at. I think June would be a lot better though, because August it would be like a 4-month break until I fight again, and I just want to be as active as possible. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, and I do know you're gonna see improvement, and you're gonna see a better me in the cage the next time you watch.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it this fight, and obviously we can see that you're developing really quick. And I just wanted to kind of ask you. Obviously, Sean O'Connell in the cage asked you, you know, how far you look to take this, and I was just wanting to pick your brains out a little bit more. How many amateur fights maybe you're looking to take before you make it to, you know, go to pro, and ultimately. Are you looking to have them all in PFL, because they, you know, they're being really good to you? I think they're the way they're working with you. I think it's fantastic. The way they're promoting you, I think it's phenomenal.
I think the rest of my amateur career will be in the PFL, which is it's crazy to even say that. Like the rest of my amateur career will be in the PFL. I mean, it's a crazy opportunity. You know, it's a lot of pro fighters don't really get that kind of that kind of experience until 10 years into their career, and I'm getting it right now as an amateur. And I know, of course, a lot of it has to do with who I'm related to and the name and how much media can be brought with that and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, you wouldn't watch me if I was 0-4, right? So it's what happens in the cage that really matters. And you know, I said before, you know, you could be Muhammad Ali's grandson and be just a trash fighter who just doesn't win and has no potential really. I mean, there's no hype in that though. Nobody's gonna really watch that. But if you're Muhammad Ali's grandson and you have potential to be a great fighter and you're knocking dudes out and you're doing good and you're improving and you're getting better and better, then there's something to look at. There's okay, I'm gonna tune in on this kid. So, and that's where I think that I'm at right now. You know, I feel like I have a lot of potential. I feel like I have an athletic ability and talent. I feel like I was blessed with the quick learning skills and the ability to adapt. So I look to just display that, you know, for the rest of this amateur career and even into my pro career. You know, for my entire MMA journey, I look to just show improvement and improvement after improvement. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And my last question I have for you, Biaggio. We've seen Nico pull off the alley shuffle once in a boxing fight. Is it going to come out? Are you going to pull out the moves?
I feel like I feel like I could only pull that off if I'm doing a lot of switch kicks. Because if you're in a kickboxing, if you're standing up and you're looking to do like a switch kick, you switch stances real fast.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that, if I'm doing a lot of switch kicks and he's biting in on him, maybe I could do a little shuffle just to throw him off, to make him think, is he gonna throw another one and then do something else?
You just know that would go viral as well. It would.
It for sure will.
Especially if you Ali shuffled through the kick, knocked him out. Imagine.
That would be awesome. That would be really, really awesome.
With the same kick, that would be phenomenal. It would be something special. But yeah, Biaggio,
I've actually done that. I've done it in sparring.
You have, yeah?
I've done it in sparring, and it's kind of like, what was that? What are you doing with your feet?
That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Biaggio, I appreciate your time. I think you're a phenomenon. I think you've got a lot of potential. I feel like you're looking better every fight. The first PFL fight, it was like a tester. We get to see what you're about. And then the second fight, I feel like, we saw a lot. We saw a lot of improvements, and we're seeing that, development quick as well, which is ultimately what we want to see as a fan. And obviously, next time we see you, I feel like you're going to look even better. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate your time as well. I think you're phenomenal. And obviously, I know you're quite busy as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, Biaggio. Have the good rest of your day. Enjoy Las Vegas. Enjoy the sunny Las Vegas. I'm very jealous.
It's always sunny in Las Vegas.
I appreciate it, Biaggio. Have a good rest of your day.
Of course. You too, bro.